Hey guys, so I'm just going to take you through a quick warm up. This is a really good warm up to use before running, before any strength and conditioning or movement or anything really, but particularly to use before running. So we're going to start with our left knee on the floor and our right foot in front, and we're going to start just by tucking our tailbone under. If we imagine our pelvis as a bowl of water, naturally we're normally slightly tipping down at the front. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but tipping down at the front. I want you to draw up so we're level, or maybe even just slightly tip the water out the back. So we're just drawing up at the front, tipping the water out the back. So we should be feeling a loosening up of the hip on the left side. Now, when you do that, if you're just feeling it tight into your quads, you might want to do a quick couch stretch before, which I'm not going to take you through the full thing now, but you can press pause and do it. So we want a couch, a sofa, a chair or something behind us. You might want a cushion underneath your knee, and you're going to do exactly that same thing. So we've got our foot, right foot on the floor, left foot hooked up onto the sofa. And we're going to do the same thing, drawing up at the front. Now, I'm tight in my quads at the moment. I can't get all the way up at the front there. So I'm not tipping the water out the back, but I'm drawing up at the front as much as I can. So I'm getting a good stretch into my quads to help to loosen up that. So if you're too tight in the quads to feel it in the hip, do that couch stretch on both sides first. Then we're going to go back into that hip flex stretch. So we're just tucking under, drawing up at the front, and hopefully now you can feel it in your hip. From there, we're going to draw up at the front and we're going to gently push forwards. Now, remember, with all of our mobility work, we're never trying to force anything. So don't go too aggressive here. You're probably not tipping the water out the back, but you're trying to keep the pelvis level as you push forwards. So we're loosening up the hip here. Really essential because we spend so much time seated, we get very tight in our hips, which means we haven't got full range of motion when we come to do our strength and conditioning. But particularly if we're running, we want to be able to get that leg to go behind us. So as we push forward, if you guys carry on pushing forwards, so when I'm at the start, my pelvis is flat, I'm kind of at 90 degrees here. As I push forward, I want to keep the pelvis flat and take the leg behind me. The tendency is just to keep that 90 degrees and push forwards by tipping out at the front. Whereas we want to keep the pelvis flat, we take the leg into extension, or we talk about hip extending behind us. A few more. Now we're going to change the focus to the front leg. Push your hand or elbow onto that front knee and push that knee forwards. So we're working, you maybe feel it in your calf on the right side, on the front side, or around the ankle. I want you to try and push the knee towards the little toes. The tendency is for the knee to go towards the big toe. So I want you to push the knee towards the little toes, stretching into it. So loosening up at the back on the left side, front on the right side. From there, we're going to keep the left knee on the floor, take the right leg out straight, push the straight leg into the ground, push the foot into the ground, and then slowly sit back onto your heel. So we're just sitting up and down, keeping that leg straight, up and down into feeling that inside of the right leg stretching through. Once more, keep pushing that foot into the ground. Lovely. Then we're going to swap sides. So right knee down, left foot on the floor, tucking under again. Relax, tuck under. Relax, tuck under. Loosening up that hip. And again, if you need to stretch the quad first, absolutely. Stick that foot up onto the couch behind you to stretch into the quad first. So we want to mobilize the body so we can get that full range of motion, so we get more out of the exercise we're doing, strength and conditioning, running, whatever, but also to reduce our chance of injury. If our body's not moving as it's meant to move, we end up using muscles that we're not meant to use, we end up risking injury. So now pushing forwards, tuck under, keep the pelvis level as we push forwards. So we're working through the left ankle, through the right hip. Last one. Lovely. And then leg out to the side, so left leg out, pushing it straight down into the ground, feeling the stretch down the inside, and we're just going up and down. So only a few minutes, And if we do this before we go out, we're helping to loosen up those ankles, calves, hips, helping to get that full range of motion. So we're going to get way more out of our run. So even if it means you're going to cut your run short by about 5 minutes, I would say definitely worth doing, because you'll get more out of the run. You'll be better able to engage that good run technique as you go. Final one, final two, working through the upper body now. So we're going to do right arm up towards the ceiling, turn to face to the right, and then reach through. Remember, we're keeping our hips stable, so the hips don't move. Imagine that laser beam from your belly button down to the floor. Hips don't move. We're trying to get the mid-back moving as we reach through. Using our breath, remember, as we breathe out, we send that powerful signal to the body to relax, to let go of tension. So breathe out as you rotate through. Try and get a little bit more movement in there. Swap sides. So breathe and turn. Reach through, breathing out. Lovely. Nice relaxed breathing, long breath out as we turn, just to get a little bit more range of motion. And then finally, up against a wall or on a table. I'll show you the table in a second. Elbow up at 90 degrees at the elbow and the shoulder, pushing the shoulder into the wall and turning away. Again, using that breath, nice, long, deep breath out. As you breathe out, just think, can I turn a little bit further? Not forcing it, but just gently trying to ease the body into that motion. If you haven't got a convenient wall, you can do it on a table. So again, I'm 90, pushing in and then lifting the shoulder up, so turning away from the shoulder. So all of that, both important just to restore range of motion in areas that we're vulnerable to losing it in our body, so for our everyday health, but also really important for our running, making sure we're nice and loosened up so we've got that full range of motion as we go. Hope that's helpful.